I, I think we're rolling. Hi everybody, James here. Right off the bat, it's been a while since I've actually done one of these webcam videos. Ever since I, realized that, cameras in my phones have had so much more, potential for vlogs and probably reviews and all that stuff. I've chosen to abandon the webcam, but I've come back to use it just for this and maybe one or two more videos. Just for whatever reason. Basically, the reason I'm doing this video is to make a very important announcement. Now, I'm just trying to think of the best way to say this. Um, for those of you who don't know, I live in the UK. Specifically, I live in a small seaside town in Northern Ireland. Um, Now, again, I just want to get this out of the way. I'm suffering from a cold and a bad cough at the minute, so if I sound stuffed up, that's the cold's doing that. And if I start coughing like if my cough sounds like a bark, you'll know why. But basically, get out of the way. I am moving, not away from YouTube, not away from the internet. Maybe for a tiny little bit of time, but not my fault. The reason from which I am, going to be taking a break after Christmas is, again, I'm moving, but it is because I'm moving to Australia. My reasoning for this is because my dad, he has an IT job in Belfast, and towards the end of September, he was approached with a job offer from a company in Australia. Now, at first he thought it was, a bit of a joke, because in the past he had been presented with previous job offers, the likes of which would have resulted in him going away for like months at a time and not being able to stay with us. Um, Now he didn't get he didn't want to do that, so that was fine by him. But it turns out that the Australia job offer was totally legit. Was it the lady who my dad has been conferencing with? She herself is originally from Wales, and she's been breaking down to him, all the stuff that's good about Australia, the weather in particular. um, was it the weather? Frankly, everything's great in Australia. um, so basically, now my dad he had been going back and forth through interviews both via Skype and phone call or two. Now, unfortunately, over the last month, things have gotten, well, they were very stressful and all that there with the sad passing of my gran. Um, Now, just as a heads up, I don't know how many people actually know this, but again, this, you know, my dad's mother, and she lives right across the way over, over there. Um, so things were very tough, and her illness had been very short. As a result, all attention from the Australia job, just it stopped, and he then started taking care of her along with my aunts and my uncle. Sadly, things weren't able to work out. She did pass away, but she's at peace now, and that's all that's important. But putting that to the side, basically my family and I we are moving to Australia. Um, in case you hear background noises, that's my mum. Um, Basically, now there aren't any I don't know an enormous amount of general details just yet, but what I can tell you is that we are moving to Sydney. We are meant to be moving somewhere in early January, and my dad's job is actually an IT job for the New South Wales government. Now, that is a big surprise, Now, my dad, he said this to me himself, throughout his entire, working at, his job sort of thing, there's always been that one guy who has always, told everyone else at work that he or she and her family and their family um, have been moving to Australia, and as a result of that, my dad, he said to me, he always associated, oh, sorry, uh, he always associated, um, he always thought it was what, it was always that it was always that one person who got it, but instead now it's his turn. Um, Now, I think the job that they want my dad to do, they're looking him there, say, I think they're looking him there mid-January, so that's why we're leaving early January. Um, Now, my dad has sent over a bit of a checklist or tick list or something like that. It's basically for a house. Um, Now, my mum, I'm not gonna, not so much suffers, but she has something to do with her legs where they're often sore on many occasions. Um, but as a result of being in the likes of a swimming pool, all those pains and worries and everything else just fly out the window. So what my dad is hoping to get is a 4 to 5 bedroom house. Two of those bedrooms would accommodate 4 guests. The likes of aunts, uncles, friends who have flown over from the UK. A swimming pool, which would help my mum, and the potential possibility of leasing, not so much leasing a car. At least I believe that's it. But yeah. Uh, oh, sorry. I said I was just reading a message from Jack the Animator. Now, on the topic of Jack, now first off, I just want to get this out of the way. I just want to thank him so much, so much for helping me through this entire difficult time. I'm he would have always spoken to me every single night if, through Facebook. I want to thank you guys as well, particularly those who have commented saying we're sorry and we're here for you. I just want to thank you guys so much. See us. Bye. Sorry. But just big thanks to Jack. Now, about as I said, we are moving to Australia. The thing is, besides you as the viewer now knowing, I've only told 3 other people. Jack the Animator, Dreadwing 2020, and Joltster 109. Joltster 109 is actually the latest guy to find out. He only found out about 15-20 minutes before this video actually started recording. So yeah. Now, I've spoken to Dreadwing 2020, and he is actually he's pretty excited about the idea. Now, could you give me 10 minutes? Basically, Jack, he has obviously been supporting me. I think, he's got it that I have to go, move to the bottom of the planet. But, I am happy, about this. Yet, well, let me put it like this: I'm thrilled yet terrified. Excuse me. The sheer amount of both excitement and fear building up inside me is colossal. Now, today is the 29th of November 2013. 3 weeks from today, I will officially be off on my Christmas holidays. Summer holidays. During that time, unfortunately, we're not going to be putting up many Christmas decorations because was it my dad? He's getting ready. He's already made plans for doing a lot of stuff. He's already sold his card to my aunt. He's selling my mum's card to my other aunt. we're actually packing up all of our stuff and putting it in the attics, or the roof spaces, depending on which one you prefer best. And then we're actually going to be renting out our house. Now, my uncle, he is a landlord, and that could actually work out very handy, because all we need to do is probably pick up a phone and talk to him. Of course, unfortunately, it would be a very expensive phone call, seeing as how it'd be an international call. But whatever. Uh, but yeah, now unfortunately, between we're leaving, here in Northern Ireland and arriving in Australia, my dad has said I can only bring a limited number of Transformers. That stinks. Now, I haven't actually told any of you guys, but I did pick up a brand new Transformer recently, or not too long ago. It was, well, I know this isn't it, but this is the little weapon thingamabob from Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Grimwing. I managed to get Grimwing, mostly for the purpose of customizing him for Darksteel. Yeah, I know they are Target exclusives in the US, but my friend Jack the Animator said as a Tesco's very close to where he lives actually had one. That, obviously gave me the idea. Well, I really like, we both really like the look of Darksteel, and Grimwing is the closest thing I currently have to Darksteel. Grimwing is the closest thing I have to Darksteel. Ah! My tongue does not work. My words do not make sense. But as you can tell, this whole thing is just messing with my mind. Oh man. Ugh. But priorities. I got Grimwing as to make a custom Darksteel if things don't work out. So I am bringing Darksteel. Grimwing, James. Grimwing! Anyway, I'm bringing Grimwing, my custom RID Optimus Prime, my custom RID Megatron, Beast Hunters Ultra Magnus. Not this one though, this was the original that I got. I ended up buying a second, for spare parts and a potential further custom. But basically, Beast Hunters Ultra Magnus, Sidearm Sideswipe, Beast Hunters Predaking. I'm forgetting one or two others, but for the most part, those are definitely the ones I remember best. Now, to have 6 or between 6 and 8 initially is gonna stink. Now, prices in Australia are just phenomenal compared to here. Not so much the great sense, but just phenomenal as in out of this world crazy prices. By the way, I'm not offending anyone by saying that. It's just the comparison between here in the UK and over in Australia. I both got the information from Dreadwing 2020 himself and from here in the UK. Here in the UK, a Transformers Deluxe is roughly about £13. In Australia, a Deluxe is $25. In the UK, using that $25, I could probably buy a Deluxe, or using that $25, I could only just afford 2 Deluxes, or a Voyager. Worse yet, Voyagers in Australia cost $45. Yeah, so obviously you can see that that's a bit of an issue. But I have come up with an idea. If you've watched many of my videos over the last year to 2 years, you'll notice I've taken up customizing. Now, I'm not going to brag saying that I am a good customizer, but Jack the Animator himself has said that because of the work I did, I ended up influencing him to do his own customs. So to hear that, I think is a great thing to hear. Now, unfortunately, I can't bring, the paints that I have with me to Australia, which stinks. Again, because apparently the company that's sending my dad has agreed to cover certain fees. But, we can't bring a lot of this stuff most of our stuff because of the sheer weight, weight capacities and all that rubbish. But basically, I am gonna be buying new paints in Australia, and this was actually an idea that I ran by Jack the Animator and Dreadwing 2020. Both of them seemed very optimistic towards it, and this is where I want your opinions as the viewers to come in. Now, I am a sort of decent customizer. I have made good customs, both based on my own opinion and those who have seen the videos that I've made for them. And as a result, I was thinking, what now? In order to keep, to stay, fresh-minded with painting stuff, and ultimately, keeping the customizing routine, what if I was to set up my own commissioned customizing business? Not only would it mean that, I'd be able to paint stuff for other people, but it also meant that I could make a little bit of money on the side. Now, if this was to take off, and I just want to give, you guys the crash course as to what I'm thinking, basically how it would work is, now obviously you would contact me saying, you want to send me a figure or figures, then you would send, you would tell me what figures they are. You would then say, I want this figure done in such and such a way. I want it to resemble either a theme or a character. You would then send them to me in Australia. I would spend a little bit of time. Well, not a little bit of time, but I would spend a quite bit of time customizing it, because now I just want people to understand this. Customizing is in its own right as challenging as stop motion. I know that doesn't make sense, but just hear me out. Customizing is very, very detailed. Similar to stop motions, they have to be complex, detailed, and still look good. Customizing a figure depends largely on the amount of work that both you as a customizer do and what you want other people to see. The best representation, or the best custom I think I've done, is either my RID Ultra Magnus or my Hunt for the Decepticons Sidearm Sideswipe. I've put a lot of work into both of them. RID Magnus, I've spent almost 8 months. At least I think it's it's probably 6 months, but at least I've spent 6 months carefully, painting away, trying to get the best amount of perfection out of it that I possibly could. Still a little bit left to go, but I am getting there. So basically, getting back on track, if you wanted to paint a figure done, you would send it to me, I would customize it, and then I would send it back to you. Now, obviously, along the way, I would keep you updated through photos, videos, showing you the whole thing. Now, what I would charge is, now obviously I'm not going to be doing this for free. Now, if this was to go through, and I'll just be totally honest here, if this was to go through, I would ask that if you were sending me the figures, I would ask that you covered the mailing the figures. I would ask that you covered that charge. I would also need to be paid for the work that I do. But then I would now I may or may not depend. I'm not saying this to sound like a jerk. I'm just saying this, depending on the circumstances. I'm just saying there's a 50-50 chance that I will cover the cost of sending the figure or figures back. Now I am interested to get your opinions of this, but long story short, and I've wasted almost 19.5 minutes of everyone's lives. Terrific. But basically, long story short, I'm moving to Australia. I'm going to be there for 2 years, possibly 3. If I like it enough, I may be legally obligated to say if I want to stay or not. For me, it largely depends if there are jobs. But I am getting on much better with my voice acting skills. I I can't do them right now due to the stuffed up nose, which ultimately won't improve things. But if I pluck my nose, things sound a lot sillier. I sound like a really cliche nerd. You know, I should really stop this, shouldn't I? Ugh. Right. Ugh. But yeah, I'm ill. But basically, again, I'm moving there as officially for 2 years. I don't know when I'm going right now, but within the next few weeks we'll probably find out. Um, then after that, I will be setting up my own customizing commissioned customizing business, from which you will tell me if you want a figure customized or not. You will tell me what themes you want. You will mail me the figures. I will customize it for you. You will have to pay me for the work I do. I will then send it back, and you will have a figure that you will either enjoy or find great benefit in owning. Everybody wins. Yeah, everybody wins. Mm. But long story short, yes, I am moving to Australia. Now I hope to keep everyone updated, as much as I can over the next month, maybe. Um, it just solely depends on what I can and cannot bring. Again, I can only bring a limited amount of stuff, but for now, things are working out okay. My dad, he's getting back into, finding out what's going on, or what all he has to do left. Excuse me, or what all he has yet to do in order to get it. But for the most part, everything's looking great. Now, I am gutted that I have to leave here because, you know, I obviously have been away on holiday. If you guys remember my trip to Rome last year, being outside of Northern Ireland, I've been to London, Barcelona, and Rome. Those are the three main places I've been. And, they're all in Europe. That's like a, what, 1,000 mile-ish, radius or something. Well, I'll just say 2,000 mile radius to be safe. But I mean, this is Australia. This is essentially, excluding the South Pole, duh. This is almost the bottom of the planet. Um, Neither of my parents have been to Australia, and they're thrilled. My sister, it took a little bit more convincing for my sister, but she seems more than content on going. But yeah, everything looks to be like a green light, or at least everything looks like a really good. Everything looks like it's going to be the go ahead, and yeah, that's it. Now, if anyone wants to ask me anything, I ask that you message me on Facebook. If you want to talk about anything that the commissioned customizing business will either offer, or what the deal could be about it. Again, I ask that you take particular interest in that, because I don't want anyone to be conned out or just mistaken by anything. So please ask as much as you can. But for everything, that's it. Okay, this is Night/2020 Junior. Subscribe to my channel for videos and more. Like me on Facebook for searching for Night/2020 Junior. I really need to get a new outro line. But yeah, until next time, bye everyone, take care, and I will update you on the Australia move as much and as frequently as I possibly can. So until next time, bye everyone.